Salutations, lads and gentlelasses. I am known as Wes, the Explosion, and I bring news of the backlog. This week, I have tales of adventure and chivalry upon the release of the Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon. Tally-ho! Okay, so ignoring whatever that was, the new Shovel Knight came out. Do I need to introduce Shovel Knight? He is a knight whose weapon is a shovel, pretty self-explanatory. Anyway, one day, SK is just chillin' when a treasure chest drops in and, upon opening it, finds a weird box that sucks him into a puzzle dimension. After a bit of confusion, he's picked up by Chester and a new character, Puzzle Knight, and with their support, he sets off on a quest to solve the mystery of the land and find a way to escape. Which brings us to gameplay. You're given the option to play it either as more of a puzzle game or a roguelite, though the only main difference I can see is whether you can revive upon defeat or not, the latter being the one with the harsher rule. The gameplay is as you see on screen. You move around a grid as various enemies, blocks, and potions fall. They descend in time with you, though if you stay still, they fall much slower. You can ram into an enemy to deal damage, though they will strike you back. If multiples of the same enemy are lined up, the damage is chained. As you down foes, you get gems, and the larger your kill chain, the more you get. If you down things quickly enough, you build up a bonus gauge that quickly depletes with inactivity, but if you make good use of it, even more riches will be yours. As I said though, you attack, you get attacked, so you need to watch your health bar and grab potions before you collapse. Taking out foes will also advance the bar along the top, which will cause keys and chests that contain power-ups to drop, as well as finally a door that will lead you to the next level. After the first level, a blue chest also appears, which entering will take you to Chester's shop, where you can buy upgrades for your runs, such as more health, effects to some of your attacks, and better drops from chests. At the end of every few stages, you face a boss, and if you beat them, you not only progress, you can also switch to that character on subsequent runs. You lose if the screen fills up, and if you take too much time, the top of the screen will begin to descend as well. If you lose, you're taken back to camp, and your score is converted to gems that you can spend to unlock more items from Chester, which will then begin to spawn in his shop in the field, to hopefully give you an easier time completing a run. Those are the basics, and while it sounds simple enough, there's a lot to learn. Different enemies have different health, abilities, and attack power, and many are exclusive to the stages you find them in, patterned after the levels of the original games, and the constantly changing barrage means that you have to constantly learn and change tactics yourself. Some are particularly difficult to deal with, and because of that, you might even want to buy upgrades with a certain one in mind earlier in the run. I started picking up shockproof socks whenever I saw them, just to handle the Rats and Tinker Knight stage. You can also switch your character to choose a playstyle that better suits you. I tried out Spectre Knight, who took damage from healing items but recovered by killing enemies, and I heard that King Knight deals more damage in exchange for taking more, which intimidated me too much to try him, despite either him or Propeller Knight being my favorite one. There was also a new character I tried out, but I didn't notice anything different with him, so I probably wasn't using him right. Oh yeah, there are new knights in this game, one being Puzzle Knight, and there being at least two others, and I'm excited to see more characters join the series cast. Now, here it's time for me to confess some things. First off, I am pretty okay at puzzle games, which is why I went for the mode that let me die multiple times. I beat the game with Shovel Knight because I was too chicken to get fancy, and I even used the shortcut to beat the game. I didn't do everything the game had to offer, not unlocking all the characters yet, there being some secret that I need to find 3 keys for, and there also being a better ending that I am hazy on how to achieve. Because of this, I'm probably not the best person to ask an opinion on this game, but I can still give my thoughts as a fan of Shovel Knight. First, this is cute and fun. I like the visuals, and while I prefer the music of the main games, the more chill interpretations that they have here are still nice. I will still come back to it and to try and unlock some more characters, mostly Propeller Knight, though I don't think I'll ever get really good at the game. Because of that, I'll likely never get the true ending, though I plan on looking it up at some point so that I can stay current on the story. There are a few intriguing bits that came up in my playthrough, so I don't really want to play the next game and wonder why something crazy is happening, like Shovel Knight is calling one of the other characters uncle or some oddball development like that, so I gotta know. In that same vein, I do like 2 of the new characters they added, so even though completely switching genres for what seems to be a direct sequel is a very odd move, I'm here for it. If you like puzzle games, you'll probably like it. If you like roguelites, you might like it. If you like Shovel Knight, you should maybe play it. If you're a fan of all 3, congratulations, this game was made for you. Go pick it up now. So I liked Puzzle Dungeon, but I much prefer platformers and, by extension, the original Shovel Knight and its companion titles. So I then decided to play through Shovel of Hope immediately after finishing the new game, and I gotta say, I might be slipping. But more on that in a moment. In case you don't know and still sat through me talking about Puzzle Dungeon anyway, in the original game you play as the titular Shovel Knight as he moves about the land, trying to take on the forces of the Enchantress, most notably the 8 Knights of the Order of No Quarter. It rhymes. It means that they're a group that doesn't give you a place to rest. And if you're on a multiple choice game show, you should be able to figure it out based on that, especially if you're British. We had a frickin' war over this in tea, damn it. Anyway, it has a world map like Super Mario Bros. 3, has 8 bosses like in Mega Man, though you need to find the special abilities in their stages rather than get them by beating the bosses, and you travel through areas slashing and pogoing enemies like Zelda 2. There are a ton of other classic games that this one could be compared to, though what makes Shovel Knight unique is how much it is able to pull from and still keep the game comprehensible. There's a lot of bandwagoning in video games. Normally, though, what happens is that things are either taken and incorporated incompetently or just ripped off wholesale. Here, though, each element was carefully selected and married into the whole in such a way that, while much will be familiar, Shovel Knight is truly a unique experience. Not only that, but the sprite work is impeccable, each major character being instantly recognizable despite having several design elements in common, and each being given a unique personality in the brief encounters you have with them. The story is also a bit more complex than the 2 or 3 paragraphs that we tend to get in older games, with a twist and turn or 2 throughout, and many things get expanded on in the companion games, Plague of Shadows, Spectre of Torment, and King of Cards if you wind up playing them all, which I recommend. I really love these games, especially the ones for Shovel and Spectre Knights, which brings me to my crushing disappointment in myself. You see, I played through Shovel of Hope several times, tending to do better with each run, so I expected this one to go by super quick and simply. Nope, I got through the first few levels with no deaths, then died a few times when I got to the midpoint. Later levels and then endgames saw me dying again and again, many times in the same spot, which I thought I was past. I believe that I finished with about 42 deaths and a clear time of around 3.5 hours, which I imagine is respectable, but damn it, I specialize in platformers. I've played this game around a half dozen times by now, and Mega Man is one of the main inspirations for it. This is probably just another example of me being way too hard on myself, expecting to be a god when I'm actually just above average at a game, which remains something I need to be better about. The not judging myself too harshly thing, not the getting better at games thing, though I'd certainly take that too. Anyway, Shovel Knight is great, I love the games, I'd recommend it to anyone who enjoys platformers, and it's no surprise, really, that it's as beloved as it is. I look forward to seeing more from this series, and hey, because I care, did you hear Shovel Knight's getting an Android? A lot of indies are, which should help motivate me to find a job. That was my week of Shovel Knight. I also continued to play Shining Pearl. I think I mentioned finishing my Sinnoh last week, though now I've caught all the legendaries in my game. I just need some event Pokemon, dailies, and diamond exclusives, and I'll be done with what passes for a national dex in this game. I also read another Monogatari book and already started on the next game from my list, though I'll talk about that next time. For now, though, thanks for watching, maybe subscribe if you enjoy this sort of thing, and perhaps I'll see you in the next episode. Tally-ho!